Today's Namaste Yoga is the last in a series of classes on yoga for the emotions, and today's emotion is love. Hello, welcome to episode 2. There's our blanket, excellent. Asymmetrical twist. Dropping and sinking up. Notice how just notice joining us for the second episode next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 106 of Namaste Yoga. Today we're finishing our series of classes on yoga for the emotions based on Peter Marchin's book Rasa Sadhana, the yoga of 9 emotions. And I wanted to start today by first off thanking our clothing sponsor Squeezed at squeezed.ca. Today I'm wearing eggplant pants, you can see, and a top, and this is the cherry blossom design, which is really super cute. And again, I love that, probably a lot of you know that purple is my favorite color. And I love the color as well. So I love wearing purple. It's a great color. So thank you, Donna from Squeeze, for the clothes. And then I also wanted to share with you a couple of emails that I received this week. This is from somebody on Facebook who has the handle Angel Kiss. She says, "Dear Melissa, I am originally from Slovakia, but I am living in New York for the past 8 years. I came across your teachings through YouTube and started to do yoga at home by watching your hour-long classes. It's been a couple of months now that I've been practicing, and I feel amazing thanks to you. I talk about my yoga to all my friends, how great it is and how much I love it, and how much better, lighter, and happier I feel. I'm also much calmer, more peaceful, and even my thoughts become more organized. So once again, thank you, Melissa, for creating this wonderful website and podcast. I will continue to spread the word around, and hopefully more of my friends will try to follow your teachings." So thank you. The second testimonial comes from Randy Thill, and she says, "Thank you for being here. I have gone from 10 minutes to 50 minutes of yoga per session and feel much better for having done so. Love when I am inspired by someone who cares." And I'm just totally inspired that somebody was able to go from 10 minutes to 50 minutes. And that's one of the things that I was talking to Donna yesterday at Squeezed Yoga Clothing about why we created this podcast. And we wanted to create something that was really accessible for the majority of people. And I know a lot of yogas out there are incredibly athletic and not necessarily that accessible for people. And so here's a prime example of somebody who was only able to do 10 minutes before and is able to do 50 minutes now. So I just think that's fantastic. And then the other thing that I wanted to do is recommend a DVD to you. This is called Yoga for Immunity Boost. And here in Canada, we're at November the 1st today. And it's the season when colds and flus start to come at us. The weather gets drier and colder, and we're just more prone to colds and flus at this time of year. So this DVD is designed specifically to boost your immune system, to boost your lymph glands, your thymus, and your spleen. It helps to strengthen your electromagnetic field so things can't get in. And it really helps to increase your powers of resistance and also to create a healing energy in your body. So I highly recommend this one. It really does work. And these DVDs, we do ship them worldwide. They do work on all DVD players around the world. And also, as of next week, most of our DVDs will be available for digital download as well. So you'll be able to purchase all of these, the DVDs, if you want the hard copies, but also purchase digital downloads through our website at www.melissawest.com. So thank you so much, and do be sure to go to Facebook and like Namaste Yoga there. You can find it at Your Namaste Yoga. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to our class today on love. This is a beautiful class. I've been really enjoying teaching it to my students this past week. I think you're going to really love it. So you can go ahead and lie down on your backs. You may want to lie down over a bolster to do a heart opener here as you rest back. So take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And just give yourself a chance to settle in right now. And you may even want to use the mantra, breathe in peace, breathe out love. So when we look at the emotion of love, one of the ways to cultivate it is through the admiration of beauty and love. These are basically the same things. The way we recognize and appreciate the beauty in the world helps to cultivate the sense of love in our lives. So practicing a rasa sadhana of love means seeing the beauty and harmony that is present in everything. So to concentrate on love and beauty means to see the divinity of creation in all things. So in our relationships, we practice surrendering to each other as a way of surrendering to the divine and surrendering to universal love. So we practice through this sadhana the beauty of seeing love and beauty in everything. So in terms of our physical bodies, those people with a strong kapha constitution are really able to express love a lot more easily than those with stronger vata or pitta constitutions. They're more prone to love and seeing the beauty in all things. And in our physical bodies, in the chakras, the second chakra located in our bodies at our pelvises is related to this idea of sexual attraction, that kind of love of sexual attraction between two people. When we come up to our heart center, this is more a universal love, expressing love of all things. And then in our fifth chakra at our throat center, we experience love as seeing the beauty in all things. It's more an aesthetic appreciation at that level. So beauty is everywhere and in all things and is always there to be loved. And beauty is the divine nature of things. And this is something we can do and practice in seeing love and beauty in all the small things. And when we're in relationship with each other, we can practice seeing the beauty, the divinity, and perfection in another person. So as you take all this in, begin to set your intention for how you would like to work with this rasa, with this emotion today in your practice. And start to form an intention for your practice today of how this practice could best serve you in your life right now. And then you can stay lying down on your backs. We're going to begin our practice on our backs with a short vinyasa that I learned from one of my teachers, Margene Olson at Esther Myers Yoga in Toronto. It's a little love vinyasa, spelled L-U-V. We make the shapes of the letters L-U-V with this vinyasa. So you'll start with your knees into your chest. Okay. So inhale, take your legs straight up and your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your arms straight up. There's your U. Inhale, take your arms and legs wide. And exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Inhale, straighten your legs, take your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your arms up to a U shape. Inhale, take your arms and legs wide. And exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Let's keep going with that. Inhale, make the shape of your L. Exhale, the U. Inhale, V. And exhale, bring your knees into your chest. We'll do one more of those. Great, and then bring your knees into your chest. We're going to be doing, of course, we're going to be doing a lot of back bends today. So one of the things we need to do to prepare our bodies for back bends is twists, help to really release our thoracic spine and prepare our bodies for back bends. So take your arms out into a soft T here at about shoulder height, and knees bent with your feet flat on the floor. Press into your feet slightly, pick up your pelvis and move it over to the left side of your mat slightly, and then drop your knees over to the right side of your mat here. Okay, so you want to stack up your knees one on top of each other here. The other thing you can do is place a pillow between your knees, really helps a lot. Yeah, that would be great for me. Maybe even a bigger pillow than this. So I'll actually double up this pillow for me, because you want to have your, this is fine like this. So you want to have your, this is fine like this. You want to have your legs so it's in line with your pelvis. So this really helps, especially with SI joint issues, to create that little extra space for your SI joint there. And then you'll look over your left shoulder. And when you're doing twists, it's great to fully exhale. This helps to deepen your twist each time. Okay, the next step of this series is to straighten your legs straight out. And then you'll leave your top left leg there and take your bottom right leg straight down. And I'm going to leave that pillow there for me. Just keep my leg in line with my pelvis. Some of you may be able to lower your foot to the ground. So see what works well for you here. This little pillow is doing quite a great job as a prop. You could use a block here as well, or a bolster. And then the final piece of this is to bend your right leg, reach down and hold onto your right foot with your left hand. So now you're in a twist and a back bend as well. This will help to prepare us when we come up to standing. We're going to be doing some Nataranjasana, some dancer pose. This will help to prepare our bodies for that. Okay, and then find a way to release this posture from your body and come all the way back onto your back. You'll have to press into your feet and untuck your hips back into the center. And then probably a simple knees to chest would be a really nice counter pose here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this whole series on the other side. I'm just going to move a little bit more this way so I have room for my dandy long legs on this side. You're going to press into your feet, pick up your pelvis, move it over to the right side of your mat, and then you'll drop your knees over to the left side of your body. Here you might want to use that pillow or prop just to take that stress off your SI joint. Oh, see how my pelvis is going like this here? It wants to be perpendicular to the ground. So I'm just going to tuck it a little bit more. And then there you see that shoulder's up a little higher, but my pelvis is in a better position. Eventually the shoulder will go down onto the ground. But yeah, that's a better position for my pelvis here. Okay, and then the next step in this series is to straighten your legs out to the side. And then your top right leg stays there. Your bottom left leg comes straight down. And then bend your bottom left leg, reach down and hold on to it with your right hand so that you're in a twist and a back bend. Wow, I can really feel the difference between my two sides here. Okay, and then release all of this. Come back to the center. Come back onto your mat. And hug your knees into your chest. So one of my intentions in working with this class has been to really appreciate the beauty of the movement of my physical body. So I encourage you to explore that as you practice today as well. Appreciate the beauty and grace of the unfolding of your physical body. Okay, from here, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. You're going to press into your feet and lift up into bridge pose. And you can stay here like this, or you can shoulders underneath you a little bit more and interlace your fingers so it's more of a back bend here as well. Stay connected to the inside edges of your feet. Avoid the tendency for your knees to roll out here. And then slowly lower yourself down and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, we're going to do that posture again. This time, place your feet flat on the floor. We'll come into it the same way. Sink into your feet, lift your pelvis off the ground. And then from here, I want you to fold your right leg in and straighten it right up. And then bend your right knee back down to the ground, re-lift. Fold your left knee in and extend your left leg straight up. And then bend your left leg, lower it down, lower your pelvis back onto the ground, and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, and then lower your feet to the ground. We're going to lower your feet to the ground. We're going to roll over onto our stomachs. Okay, so on your stomach, take your arms straight out in front of you. Press your pelvis flat into the ground. Maybe even just wiggle your hips from side to side, just to make sure your low back is Nice and long. Okay, and then tuck your tail under. You're going to walk your elbows back to underneath your shoulders so that you come into sphinx pose. In this pose, you want to make sure you keep your shoulders down away from your ears, so press into your elbows. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. And one thing that I like to think about doing in this pose is really focusing on and concentrating on my rib cage. So imagining my ribs sinking and opening and allowing gravity to drop my ribs towards the ground and reaching my breastbone forward. One thing I see a lot of us students in this pose is with their heads up and back and their chins really forward. So remember to keep your chin back and tucked in your ears back over your shoulders. So this is a great heart-opening pose, a great counter pose to life, creating the opposite movement from what we do all day, every day. And then you're going to slowly release yourself down and wiggle your hips from side to side. Okay, we're going to do this pose again. Press the front of your pelvis into the ground. Walk your elbows back to underneath your shoulders again. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. And then you're going to slide your right shoulder forward, look over your left shoulder. Breathe into the center. Breathe out, slide your left shoulder forward, look over your right shoulder. And go back and forth like that. This helps to create some movement in your shoulder girdle here. Great for those of you who have pain in your shoulders. And then building up the muscles in your back in this pose really helps to keep your shoulders where they belong and really helps to decrease neck and shoulder pain too. Okay, and then lower yourself back down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up onto all fours and back onto your heels for child's pose. Stretching out your low back. And then in this pose, let's help to prepare our spine a little bit more for the back bends that are to come by doing a little bit of side bending. So walk your hands over to your left side and bend your spine to the left. And then come back to the center and walk your hands over to the right side, bend your spine to the right. Okay, come back center. We're going to come up onto all fours and do some thread the needle. So let's start by taking your right arm out to the side. Breathe in, breathe out, and thread your right arm through the space between your left wrist and your left knee. Rest your right shoulder onto the ground. Okay, so now you can stay here in this pose, or we can take this a little bit further by taking your left foot out to the side, and I want you to pay attention to how I place my foot. So see here how my toes are tucked under and my heel is pointing straight up. And this creates some leverage so that if I am to roll over to my left, that I can counteract by reaching out through my left heel. So the next stage in this is you can tuck your chin and then roll your shoulder to the ground. And then carefully gather yourself back up and come into the center again, and perhaps a downward facing dog just to do something really symmetrical after that. And then inhale and bend your knees. And let's do that whole thing on your other side. So this time the left side. Inhale, take your left arm out to the side. Exhale, thread your left arm through. So you've got your left shoulder and the left side of your head on the ground. You can stay here. And then take your right foot out to the side with your right heel up, your toes tucked under. Tuck your chin and open your right shoulder down towards the ground. Okay, and then to come out of this pose, come around. Come back to the center, and again, let's do a pose that's really symmetrical to lengthen at our spines. Tuck your toes under, reach your hips up towards the ceiling. You can always do down dog against the wall or with a chair if this is too weight bearing for you. Okay, slowly lower yourselves down. We're going to do one more back bend here before we come up to standing. So this is puppy pose. With puppy pose, you need to keep your legs perpendicular to the ground, so a 90-degree angle between your legs. One of the things that often happens in this pose is that people lean back a lot, so you want to stay upright. Take your arms forward, lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling, and open your chest to the ground. Keep reaching your fingertips forward. It's a big opening in your armpits here. In your chest. If your nose starts to get squished, then come up onto your chin. Okay, and then to come out, just lean forward a bit. Bring your knees in a bit. Bring your hands back. Up onto all fours, you're going to do child's pose with your hands by your feet. Here's two options. One is to have your hands on the outside of your feet, and you can hold on to your feet, creating a full body mudra, seal through your whole body. And then the second option is to open your knees and reach through and hold on to your feet here. So find your way out of this pose, and we're going to make our way up to standing. So tuck your toes under. You can come into a squat. This is how I'm going to come up to standing. Hands by your feet. Sink your heels to the ground. Lengthen out through your legs, and then roll. Ooh, that's a prickly plant. Roll all the way up to standing. Okay, from standing, let's just do a few shoulder rolls. Inhale up, exhale back and down. And then we're going to do another little vinyasa that I also learned from Margene Olson. I think she did this all in one class too. Great for creating movement in your thoracic spine. So this part of your spine is all connected to your rib cage and is not as easily bendable or movable as your lumbar spine and your cervical spine. So we have to have a little more work at loosening this part of your spine up. So start with your hands at your heart center. You're going to breathe in. Breathe out. Drop your chin to your chest, round through your back. Breathe in. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Breathe out. Breathe in. Reach your arms up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart center. Breathe in, interlace your fingers behind your chest. Roll your shoulders back and down. Breathe out, lift your arms. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out, round through your back. Breathe in back to your heart center. Breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, bring your hands back to your heart center. Breathe in, take your arms around behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down. Breathe out, lift your arms. Keep your tail tucked under. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, hands to your heart center. Let's do this again. Breathe in. Breathe out, round out through your back. Breathe in, come back to your heart center. And breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, hands to your heart center. Breathe in, interlace your hands behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down. Breathe out, lift your arms. Keep your tail tucked under. Lift your chest. Keep your chin tucked. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart center. Let's do one more like that. Breathe in. Breathe out, round. Breathe in, back to your heart. Breathe out, pause. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, hands to your heart center. Breathe in, interlace your fingers around behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. And breathe out, hands to your heart. Okay. So now let's work with Nadarajasana, dancer pose. You're going to stand on your right leg and bend your left leg. Reach around and hold on to your left ankle. Drop your left knee. Really open up through the front of your left hip. And just spend a little bit of time lining up both of your legs as much as you can, as long as you feel the stretch in the belly of your muscle, not in your knee. One thing I notice is knees go way out to the side here too, so keep your knee pointing straight down. Again, listening to the cues in your body and your own knee. You can hold on to the wall for balance as well. You're going to tuck your tail under. Inhale here. Exhale and begin to pull your heel away from your buttocks. Keep your left arm straight, and that will start to pull this open so it becomes a back bend. And in this pose, I want to give you another option too for a hand position. You can hold on to the inside of your foot, put your left thumb on your left big toe, and see, this helps to externally rotate your shoulder. Inhale here, exhale, pull your heel away, and it just creates a really nice opening and shape here. Okay, and then release this pose from your body. Just shake that out a little bit, and we'll try the same thing on your other side. So this time, stand on your left foot, bend your right knee, reach around and hold on to your right foot. Tuck your tail under, open at the space in the front of your right hip. Roll your right shoulder back and down. You can hold on to a wall here. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your right arm straight. Pull your right heel away from you. And come into that standing back bend. Keep your tail tucked under. And then, of course, there's the option of taking your foot to the inside with your right thumb on your right big toe and taking advantage of that external rotation of your shoulder. Okay, and then find a way to let that posture out of your body. Okay, so I wanted to work with, I think we did this last week too. I know I did with our classes. I wanted to work with that pose over the moon as well. So I think we're going to try coming into it a little bit different way this week. Let's come into a standing forward fold here. And place both your hands on the ground here. Blocks are a great idea for underneath your hands. Going to reach your left leg up behind you and grab onto your left foot. And then you'll just start opening up through your left hip here. And we'll try this on the other side as well. So come into a standing forward fold here. Keep your left hand on the ground. Reach your right leg up behind you. Bend your right knee. You're going to reach around and hold on to your right foot. And open up your right hip. Oops. Okay, that's the end of that pose. All right, let's come down to a seated position, please. Okay, so from a seated position, we're going to do a twist as a counter pose to those back bends. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Take your right hand to the base of your spine and look over your right shoulder. And then come back to the center. Take a deep breath in. Let it fall out of your mouth. Okay, just give your spine a chance to unfurl a bit. And then rotate your spine. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Take your left hand to the base of your spine and lengthen up. Okay, and then come back to the center. And let's bring our hands into a mudra to finish. We're going to do a mudra that to me really symbolizes the opening of our heart chakra. It's the lotus mudra. You keep the heels of your hands together for this, your pinky and your thumbs together, and you spread your fingers wide and place this at about the level of your heart. So this is the lotus mudra. So you can choose to finish your practice here with the lotus mudra, or you can lie back on your backs in shavasana to allow your practice a chance to integrate. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 106 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you to Donna from Squeeze Yoga Clothing for these fabulous clothes that just stay put and I don't even have to think about them the whole time. Please do be sure to support her at squeezed.ca. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week for a brand new series. Namaste.